Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of cEDH TV. It's me, Rhetoric. I am in an avatar. If you want to see me again, you can check out my OnlyFans. Just kidding. I'm here with Pontus, Mons, and Felix. Good to see you guys.
Hey, it's wonderful to be back. Not a lot of you people know this, but I actually secretly love creature combo decks. This is my little pet deck. This is a Hulk pile Tymna Kodama deck. We originally designed this deck to give it away to new players in Stockholm to get more players to play, but I played it so much now I'm I don't want to give it away. This deck is so fun to play. Light stacks creature combo deck. I think it's a lot worse than Blue Farm, but it's very fun to play.
I'm playing Deadpool. This is a new Rakdos commander, very similar to a Gilded Drake, you could say, but the core game plan here is to win as fast as we can with things like Ad Nauseam or a Bola Citadel into an Aetherflux Reservoir with Sensei's Divining top, or just a dual custom age together with Molten Duplication of the sorts. So it's like a Rakdos core that is trying to be turbo with something that is going to interact and steal things from your opponents. Like an Esper Sentinel is pretty common, having a 5 power Esper Sentinel is pretty good.
A couple of episodes ago, I tried out a weird version of Thrasios Francisco. The core idea is that things that gets untapped by Violet Flood Caller in the command zone might be actually pretty interesting to build Turbo Nectar Shells around. So here I'm trying Glarb because it's a frog and gets untapped, so we can do weird Valley Floodcaller combos in end step with Glarb. And in Glarb's case, you get to surveil a bunch for every spell you cast, so maybe that's relevant.
Me, I'm back with one of my pet decks fitting for today's image. It's Alena Thrasios. This is a Teamer creature dependent, we'll say, combo deck. We want to use the untap and tapping abilities that we can get with Alena and then put that into Thrasios or something like Walking Ballista, which I've done a couple times on this channel. So looking forward to bringing it back. First 7 solid cards here. I am nothing too fast, so I prefer to get out Thrasios even on turn 1 if I can, or have some other ramping abilities. But right now, we are the first player, so that helps with maybe getting in front of these things, but we won't be able to put out Assault Monolith until at least turn 3, unless we get something else. So I'm going to go ahead and pitch this and try for the second 7. All right, the name of this game is Fast Mana, so we have 2 sources that would let us get out Alena a little bit faster. So Crystal Vein is one of them. We can put out also a Lotus Petal, which may be helpful, but as I mentioned, getting out Thrasios turn 1 could be very interesting for later on, especially if we keep Aurora. But One Ring is also used for just sort of grinding value, finding other answers. So I'm going to go ahead and keep this one because I am the first player too. I'll take it away and turn it to Pontus.
So this is our first 7. It's really good. I'm trying to find the negatives with it, and there are some. For one, we are very all in on the consults. Historically, those have gone great. For me, let's say great. But this is a turn 2 Necro. No, not Necro. Rhystic with Consulting for Rhystic, which is pretty good. It's close to being really good with Kinnan as well. The problem here is that we can't really develop Kinnan effectively. It's either a turn 2 Kinnan, nothing else, or a turn 3 Kinnan. Turn 3 Kinnan with a Rhystic drawing a bunch. For first seat, so Rhystic is probably going to draw us quite a bit. That does sound pretty good. Honestly, I kind of want to redeem myself. I want to consult without dying. So I think I'm gonna consult. And if I die, that's funnier content. So I guess we go for it.
All right, we have no pregame, so I will draw a card. I'm going to put down this Aurora, put down this Lotus Petal, and then I will pass.
Land for turn will be a Ancient Tomb. I'll tap it, taking 2 to cast a Felwar Stone. And then I'll also cast a Mox Amber. And I'll pass.
Draw a card. Here's a Blood Crypt. I'm gonna shock that into play, taking 2. I'm gonna cast a Chromox. So now my Chromox taps for black. And I'm gonna cast a Nihil Spell Bomb and pass the turn.
I'm going to play a Surveil land. ETB, I'm going to Surveil 1. I'm going to peek at this card, and I'm going to put a Felidar Guardian from the top of my library into my graveyard. And then I'll pass the turn.
Draw a card. I will give you guys all forests. You're welcome, especially Mons. Then from there, I'm going to tap 2 and cast Thrasios. And then I'm going to pass Yos.
So recently, we had a similar situation of this, but this time it will work. I'll tap a black, and I'll cast a Demonic Constellation in your end step.
3 times the charm.
I'll name Rhystic Study, and I'll start flipping. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, I'm kind of alive. Let's continue. Let's battle mana. Both instant speed necro cards. Glitter, Diabolic Intent, Bowmasters, One Ring, Dozen. So far, Not that bad. Oops, that's a draw instead. Fluster, Necro, Rhystic. Yeah, that's fine. 32 cards, but I don't need all of those. Go to my turn. Land for turn will be Flooded Strand, which I will fetch. Finding my last non-surveil land target for the Flooded Strand. So thank you, Rhetoric, for that land, because I just saw something pretty cool. I'll tap this Ancient 2 for green, and my Tropical Island for blue, to cast a Kinnan. I will tap floating a green and a blue to cast a Dramatic Reversal. I will untap my 2 rocks. I'll tap Felwar Stone for 2 black and Mox Amber for 2 blue. I'll use 2 blue and 1 black to cast a Rhystic Study.
First Guardianship on your Rhystic Study.
We can talk about this. There's a turbo deck at the table. And it's me! It's countered. Then I'll use my 3 floating mana to cast a Glarb. Actually, strictly wrong of me to not cast Glarb first, because I'll check my top card. It's not a Force of Will, so it doesn't matter. And then I pass.
In your end step, Pontus, I'm going to exile your Rhystic Study and the rest of your graveyard with my Nihil Spellbomb to draw a card.
Rude.
Then I'm gonna go to my turn and untap and draw a card. Here's an Ursa Saga. I'm going to cast a Wishclaw Talisman, and then a Lion's Eye Diamond. And here I pass.
I'm gonna play a Undergrowth Stadium, and then I will pass the turn.
We are going to first play this Crystal Vein. We're going to tap 4 by sacrificing this, putting it into grave, and then I'm going to cast the One Ring. Sweet! One Ring resolves. Pass.
Actually, if you don't pass here, if you activate the One Ring on your turn, I can play an Orcish Bowmaster, and we can kill the Kinnan before Pontus gets to untap, which would like reduce his mana quite a lot.
Yeah, that's fair.
I have 2 cards in hand. What's with all this hate? Chill.
Oh,
I'll
no. I feel so
card.
bad for the Kinnan player. I will, in response, I will play Orcish Bowmaster. Then ETB, I will shoot Kinnan for 1, and then I'll pass down to the One Ring, and when he draws a card, I will shoot Kinnan again for 2.
Rude. I'll go to my turn. In my upkeep, I will Glarb, because I don't want to draw that card. So I'll Surveil 2. So yeah, I'm cheating right now because I see this card. However, I will always keep this card on top, giving my hand. So I will put this Talisman of Dominance in my graveyard, and then I'll draw this card for turn. And then I will tap this Felwar Stone to cast a Culling the Weak, sacrificing my Glarb. I'll make 4 black. I will tap for 2, taking 2, leaving 1 black floating for this ad nauseum. Maybe I did need to get focused. I'm not sure. I'll actually just swap this Mox Amber for Felwar Stone, because while I'm stupid, as you can see, let's just pretend I'm not, okay?
I don't like being I like to ban the police. This is your lucky day. I'm going to sacrifice Lotus Petal and show you a Swan Song.
How is this luck?
I'll give you free access to my OnlyFans.
How is there 1 blue player and I've been stopped this much? It's countered, and I pass.
I'll go to my turn and draw a card. So we are going to announce and cast a Wheel of Fortune. Oh, Orcish Bowmaster over there. That's a problem! However, Wishclaw Talisman is a instant speed ability. Now you can only activate Wishclaw Talisman on your own turn, but you can activate it any time during your turn. So in response to my own Wheel of Fortune, I'm sacrificing Lion's Eye Diamond, discarding these 3 cards here, and I'm floating 2 black, activating Wishclaw Talisman. Oh, wait a minute, Pontus is hellbent. Pontus, you can have the Wishclaw Talisman. I'm going to cast my Orcish Bowmaster. On ETB, I will kill the Orcish Bowmaster that is already in play. And then I would like everyone to discard your useless hands and draw 7.
I will respond to the wheel. I'll tap a blue to cast a Banishing Knack targeting the Thrasios. You can now tap Thrasios to bounce a non-land permanent.
No!
Pontus, wow, dude. I feel so grateful even though I've picked on you.
Rhetoric, let me have my Orcish Bowmaster, please. I won't shoot your Thrasios, and you have the One Ring. You can't take damage from it. You're safe. I won't attack you with a 21-21. I will attack these 2 guys instead. That's better. Honestly, hear me out. The Orcish Bowmaster will kill that. There are no creatures in play. It will not touch your Thrasios, and my army will only attack these guys. I promise.
But are you fine with completely betraying my trust? That's the real question.
I mean, the intention was stated. The intention was stated there. This is tricky, guys.
I promise that whenever you activate the One Ring, I will not shoot you with my Orcish Bowmaster. Ever. Throughout the entirety of the game.
This is a real deal with the devil. I thought we were friends.
In the end, the Orcish Bowmaster will never hurt you or the army, I promise. I just want to keep it and punch people like Pontus. I will even throw in a bigger deal here for you. If I have an infinite orc army, and it's only you and me left, we're in a 1v1, I promise I will never attack you with my orc army, or the orcish bowmaster.
Yeah, I'm not gonna argue that his deal isn't better than mine. It's just your honor.
You never made a deal with Pontus to begin with.
Now he's acting in good faith.
Felix, what would you do?
Don't ask him, because he's the one that's gonna get punched by the orc army here.
Choose what to do in this moment. I think I'd shoot myself. I hope that helps.
Think of it like this. Why interact with something that is never going to be a problem for you? While the Wishclaw Talisman is a potential problem for you if Pontus finds like a combo card number 2.
I'm gonna bounce, sure, Wishclaw.
And I thought we could be friends.
Wishclaw goes back to my hand. Alright, I'm discarding Wishclaw to the Wheel of Fortune. As I've just realized that Felix does not play any Necrodominance, Necropotence, Ad Nauseam, Bola Citadel, I'm sending 19 at Pontus. After I'm sending 2 damage at the Orc army over there. Post Wheel, I'm gonna play a Mox Amber, a Spire of Industry, tap this Spire Industry for a Goblin Welder, and then I will pass the turn.
So this has been a catastrophe, obviously. Draw a card here, play a Marsh Flats, fetch it for a scrub land. And then I'm gonna play a Deafening Silence. Then I will pass the turn.
I'll lose a life from the One Ring. I will tap the One Ring to put another burn counter and draw 2 cards.
I'm gonna send 2 damage at Felix this time.
And then I will draw a card. Land for turn will be a Misty Rainforest. I'll fetch.
I am gonna cast a little Archivist of Ogma in response. Then I'll pass on the fetch.
Fetched up a Volcanic Island.
Draw a card and gain a life.
Tap 1 for fish.
With the Orcish Bowmaster trigger, I'm gonna send 1 damage at Felix's face again.
I will tap this for red, Orcish Lumberjack. And from there, I'll pass.
Here we are in a bit of a pickle. Mons has lethal on board on us. He has a 23-23, and I have 16 life. That's a problem. Short and sweet. We have a couple of ways to play this turn. The way I would prefer to play this turn is to play land, of course, to cast Glarb, and then use the Mox Amber to cast a fish. If we play that way, if Mons fancies killing me, which it tends to do, we'll have to sack Glarb. So his attack would basically be a Glarb removal spell, and that's not really nice. Just playing Glarb as a sack out, as just sacrificial fodder in front of the big army it's a play I could do if I was desperate, but it's not like what you want to do. The problem is the alternatives aren't that great, because the alternative is basically just playing Death Red Shaman plus Fish, which is fine. It's just not what you want to do. Like, I would like to develop more value, use my mana more efficiently. But this way I can actually represent a Chain of Vapor to bounce the army. The second thing is bouncing the army with the Chain of Vapor is kind of scary. Like, Mons' deck is really fast. Like, I built it, I know. Mons being able to sack a land and bounce the Deafening Silence, if he sequences his turn, I won't say correctly, but like correctly to take advantage of that, then I might just give him the win by bouncing his army. But overall, I think I'm in a better spot if I just play Deathrite plus Fish than if I play Glarb, because if I play Glarb, Mons is going to kill Glarb. Land for turn will be a Mana Confluence, and then I'll tap Felwar Stone for a Mystic Remora. Not paying for the Mystic Remora.
I will send 1 damage at Pontus' face.
I take 1 for playing the fish, and then I'm passing the turn.
Draw a card. I'm gonna cast a Conqueror's Flail. I'm going to do this by sacrifice my Urza Saga is gonna be sacrificed, and I'm gonna find a Soul Ring that is going to tap for the Conqueror's Flail. Also having 1 colorless floating, and here all of you 3 guys can draw a card from Fish, and Archivist of Ogma, and I'm gonna send 2 damage at Archivist of Ogma, and then 1 damage at Felix. I'm then going to activate the ability by using the floating colorless mana from Urza Saga and this colorless mana here to equip my Conqueror's Flail to Orcish Bowmaster, or trying to.
I'll pass.
It resolves, I have now a Grand Abolisher effect, and I'm going to swing my Orc army at Felix, smacking for a total of 26. Let's also send the Orcish Bowmaster too, so it's a total of 29. City of Brass is land drop, and then I pass the turn.
All right, I'll take my turn. So we're obviously in a really horrific situation here, but the equip on the what's it called Conch Flail is actually especially bad for us, just because it makes the Orcish Bowmaster larger than a 1/1. Because we kind of need the Orcish Bowmaster to be gone if we're ever going to be able to put a Pattern of Rebirth into play, and if we sack a creature with Pattern of Rebirth, that's a win. There's a lot of like stray things stopping us. If we play Pattern of Rebirth, there'll be 2 fish triggers, and they can just kill any like creature with less than 2 power that we're attaching it to. Before, we had this quite nice play where we could play Body Snatcher, and our Body Snatcher could become the Orcish Bowmaster in our graveyard, which means that like, oh, if you shoot me or if you hit me, I can just get my Bowmaster, ETB kill your Bowmaster. But now the Bowmaster's like too big for that. We still kind of have to deploy, I think, Body Snatcher as like a blocker. Anything that has just like 1 life will immediately die. Tymna will just like immediately die and like not even get us the value of doing something on death. Gemstone Caverns, which taps for a green at the very least, so that's nice. And then I'm going to play a Body Snatcher. So ETB, I'm going to discard this Disciple of Freyalise. Whenever Body Snatcher dies, I exile him on death, and I get to return another creature from my graveyard to the battlefield. And that's going to be my turn.
First, I'm going to put in a Flooded Strand, Cracked Flooded Strand, grab a Steam Vents to sacrifice this Otawara Forest. I'm going to then add 1 more to make it 5, and I'll cast Alena. I'm going to actually cast Detective's Phoenix from a graveyard because of the ability that I have with it. I can exile cards with total mana value 6. So that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we also have Swan Song. So just enough. Total mana value 6 or greater from your graveyard. Bestow Alena, which would then effectively give it haste. Now that I have haste with Alena and I have 1 floating, I will cast Phyrexian Dreadnought. I will tap Alena for 12 red. Fantastic. And now we will dig a little bit. I'm going to tap the 1 ring, draw 3 cards.
I'll put 3 damage at your face, Felix. This is how I get rid of Deafening Silence.
So I have 12 in the pool. I'm going to go down to 8 to activate Thrasios 1 time. I'm going to scry this one, and it's a Seedborn Muse. But I don't have the mana.
I'm actually going to put 1 damage at Deathrite Shaman this time.
I'm going to activate Thrasios again. Phantasmal Image.
That's a card draw in the end, so I'm going to kill Deathrite Shaman.
All right, we're going to do 1 more time. This is where the deck shows itself. Move that on the bottom, put a Mana Confluence onto the battlefield. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to pass.
Go to my turn. Upkeep, I will pay to keep the fish around. I'll then draw a turn. Shock in, Organ Tomb. Ancient Tomb for a green to cast a Sol Ring. Then tapping 5 mana to cast my commander Glarb. With Glarb in play, I will pass my turn.
In your end step, I'm gonna tap this, sacrifice Mox Amber to return Wishclaw Talisman back into play. And then I'm gonna go to my turn and untap and draw a card. I'm gonna go to combat first, and I'm gonna attack with everything I have at Felix.
That's good. I'll block your biggest thing with Body Snatcher and then die anyways. Actually, can I trade something out here for you? Can I trade...
Bowmaster is a free, but you can kill my Goblin Welder.
Yeah, because if my Body Snatcher dies here, how much damage is it if I block your token? Is it enough to kill me?
It is exactly 4 damage, so if you block the biggest creature, you still die. I calculated it. This is why I'm attacking with the Goblin Welder as well.
Yeah. Sure, I'll just trade out your Welder and die.
Yeah, I'm okay with sacrificing my Goblin Welder for this. So this means that Deafening Silence is gone. And this is the only reason I actually wanted to suddenly kill you over Pontus. Which feels weird, because I'm like living to kill Pontus. So I'm gonna cast a Grinding Station. Fish can draw a card. As Pontus draws, I will grow my army and shoot Pontus for 1. ETB, I'm gonna respond, and there's an untapped trigger on Grinding Station, and I'm gonna activate Wishclaw Talisman. With the Wishclaw, I'm gonna tutor and find Underworld Breach that goes to my hand, and then I'm going to tap this to sacrifice the Sol Ring, and the Wishclaw Talisman can go to Pontus. Milling 1, 2, 3 cards, and then untapping Grinding Station. Then I'm going to cast my Underworld Breach, and I have 13 cards in my graveyard, and I do have a Underworld Lion's Eye Diamond. There it is. So I have a Lion's Eye Diamond, and with Lion's Eye Diamond, Grinding Station, and Underworld Breach. On the other hand, I can actually do the same thing with other cards, like a Sol Ring might be better. But I will be able to sculpt. I'm not going to increase the graveyard size. I'm just going to sculpt my graveyard to find a finalized outcome of victory. I'm also going to discard these 3 cards here because I'm sacrificing Lion's Eye Diamond. And I can swap some of these. For example, I can sacrifice Chromox to Grinding Station as well to continue building the graveyard size a little bit more. I'm actually going to use Sol Ring instead of Lions of Diamond because I cast Soul Ring by milling, exiling 3 cards from my graveyard, tap Soul Ring for 2 colorless, which I'm gonna keep forever. Then I'm sacrificing Soul Ring by using my grinding station to mill 3 cards until I find Aetherflux Reservoir. With a lot of colorless mana I've accumulated from Soul Ring, I can cast the Aetherflux Reservoir, and then let's say that I'm very low on the bottom of my library. I will still have Soul Ring in the graveyard, and I can cast Soul Ring maybe 5 or 4 times with the current graveyard size that I have to gain enough life for enough triggers, because I'm literally casting Soul Ring like throughout this entire dig a few times. So storm count is gonna be pretty huge. And then as Felix is already dead, I only need to acquire something like 101 life to kill both these two, Pontus and Rhetoric. And I win without casting Deadpool. So I was planning on killing Pontus, but I top-decked a victory that could not win through a deafening silence, so Felix had to go.
That's just how it is sometimes. That's like the threat of playing stacks, is that you're playing a really bad deck and people are incentivized to kill you. It's just kind of how it is.
I just accidentally got my hand on a really big army.
Accidentally.
Yeah.
Rhetoric.
You know, maybe I was a wolf in clothing. I don't know. I am, but yeah, no, that was I mean, how could you ignore somebody who was so desperate?
I mean, here's the thing. I didn't think that the army was going to be a big thing in this game. I thought that these two guys, they're gonna use like a spot removal to get rid of the army, and then that's it.
Especially in the world where there's a resolved One Ring and you've like promised not to kill one person, like obviously the army is like going to kill. I think, yeah, like it'll kill both me and Pontus, like very, very easily there. The only
Here's the thing though, in my perspective, this is a really good deal because
of course.
Because the Wishclaw Talisman will still remain on the Pontus board state, which is something I don't like, because that means a tutor for Pontus, and I don't get the army. So like, and I think this is the same thing for Rhetoric, like suddenly there's like an entire problem that for you two that you need to consider, that he doesn't need to consider one bit, and he doesn't need to consider the Wishclaw Talisman anymore either. So it's like a...
Yeah, so technically the huge misplay is Pontus not being like, hey man, when I'm playing Phoenix Pinnacle on this Thrasios, you're gonna bounce the Bowmaster, right? The Bowmaster. That was arguably then the misplay.
Yes, but it's better content.
Oh, ooh. Also, if I can have like a quick second, thank you guys for having me on. And also, like, thanks to the people who like comment on the cEDH TV videos. You guys are like really nice. I'm always really nervous whenever one of these goes up, and I'm like, oh man, these guys can see that my Tainted Pact line actually required me to top deck a land there, or like, ooh, these guys are gonna like be really harsh. But you guys are really nice, and you guys just like cEDH. So I just want to say a big thank you to you guys. I'm always like happy to play here because I know people are just gonna be cool and nice, which is kind of hard in Magic. Magic players tend to be not very kind to each other. So like, I'm surprised that you guys have like cultivated such a nice community.
Thanks so much for watching. Super sweet, awesome audience. See you guys next week.
See you guys.